Yang di luar sana minta masuk ke kita punya studio sebab kita akan start bila-bila masa sahaja. We will start now. Okay, Chef. Okay, good morning everyone. Okay, welcome to HOI. Thank you for joining us today. So we are very happy to collaborate with Candia Professional Malaysia for this event. Okay, today we are lucky because we have Chef Tan. Chef Tan is a world pastry champion 2019. So we are very lucky. So please give a hand for Chef. Okay, today Chef akan share 2 recipe, and then this recipe will conduct. Chef will conduct and then explain the technical or everything. So if you have any question, please don't shy. Just ask Chef. Okay. Before we start and begin this demonstration, I want to invite Mr. Carl from Candia Professional Malaysia to give introduction about Candia. Okay, Mr. Carl.
Hello. Yeah, I'll make it quick lah. So my name is Kyle, so representing Candia Professional today for this event, Foodtap event, okay? So I'm actually very excited now and very proud to have our 2 times pit champion of World Pastry Cup to be here. And this is a very rare opportunity actually. And as I know, this is his very first time to do an open public demonstration in Malaysia. So yeah, let's welcome Chef Tan. Okay, so before I pass the mic to Chef Tan, maybe I'll explain something about our brand. I'll tell you what is Candia Professional, who we are, and where is the products from, okay? So yeah, this is my presentation. On already. Okay, so Candia Professional, as you see, the logo, you can see a flag of France. So all the thing is from France, okay? So behind the brand, we are the #1 dairy product company named Sodia. So you can see, we have almost 7,000 farmers all around the country to help us to collect the freshest milk to process and do every dairy products like cream and your butter, everything. So here is some data about the company. You can see there's almost 9,500 farms, and we have a lot of farmers and factory help us to process the products, okay? So you can take a picture or screenshot the data. I wouldn't talk much on this. Okay, so brand positioning. For our Candia, we have 3 brand positioning. So the first one, we make sure everything is 100% from France, 100% French. The milk, the farmer, the cow, the grass they eat, everything is from France. So the second thing is we want to make our ingredient technical. So between premium butter, premium product, and technical butter, so we choose to be in the middle lah. We choose both lah. So we maintain the quality of premium and also easy to use. So the butter very premium but hard to use. It's like very challenging lah. But then we try to make it very to use. At the same time, premium the taste. So the third point is we also try to maintain the high quality through our technology. So we continuously improve and invest a lot in our technical. So maybe later Chef Tan will explain more on the products. I think she will be explaining much better than me lah. Okay, so the third. Sorry. Okay, so you can see this is the whole range of our product available in Malaysia now. On the right side, we have our whipping cream, the 35% and 40%. So the difference, maybe Chef Tan will tell you later. And then we have our butter sheet, 2 types of butter sheet. One is from Brittany. If you are familiar with France, you will know Brittany is one of the famous place for milk, butter, and cream. So this is one of the selling part of that. And then we have the extra entourage. So beside that, I think that's all from me lah. So yeah, so without further ado, let me pass the stage and welcome Chef Dan Loon.
Thanks a lot, Carl. Oh, okay, got ready. Good morning, everyone. So, thanks for coming, first of all. And my name is Loon. My surname is Tan. I'm pure Malaysian. There's no French blood in me. But I learned a lot from a lot of French chefs. Okay. I work throughout my career. I work in Malaysia only. But I'm traveling a lot. I'm lucky enough that I can traveling a lot. And the other side also, I work with a lot of French chefs. During my traveling time or when they comes to the school where I work, which is Academy of Pastry and Culinary Arts. Okay, so I'm the global ambassador for Candia Professional. Before we start the content, like the recipes, right, I would like to explain a little bit more regarding the cream that we have. Because I think in the normal market, right, a lot of you were wondering why there are so many types of cream. It can be cooking cream, it can be heavy cream, it can be whipped cream. There's so many types of cream, then you might not able to know what kind of cream you want to use. Okay, so today, I don't want to just show you the products, okay, the recipe, but the other side, I would like to focus a little bit regarding to the cream that why you want to choose, what is the condition to choose this cream, what is the situation you want to choose for the other type of cream, okay. So, for Candia Professional, we have more cream over here, but normally I don't speak about cooking cream first because I'm not using today. Okay, but today I'm using two types of whipping cream over here. One is 35%, one is 40%. You might wondering why we need to have two types of cream. So I'll do a small demonstration to you to showcase the specific use of 40% cream. 35% I will explain during the demonstration. Okay. And before I start this, in between I start this, I will explain also why you will see so many region for the cream. So as you can see, I take directly the cream from a chiller. Okay. I won't add anything. I will show you the specialty of it, which we can use different texture of it. Okay. Because I don't add anything inside, so we don't need to really scale. I just want to see the texture of it, so you can understand how versatile this cream is. Okay, first of all, the first texture, right, or you can use the cream directly, just like a sauce, which a little bit more difficult if you want to use for 35%. Why? Because the fat content is higher, because it's 40%. So meaning you have another 58 to 60% is water. But the other 35%, you have extra 5% of a water, 5% less of a cream. 5% less of the fat. So in between, actually you have 10% difference in between this. The thickness of it will be very different. Spoon. Yeah, thank you. So the first texture, as you can see, we can use directly to make a sauce, which it doesn't spread out a lot. And now I'm using directly, but imagine now you can infuse vanilla, cinnamon inside, you can get the sauce directly without processing a lot. Okay? If you want the sauce to be sweet, you just put a little bit of iron sugar inside, mix well, then you can use. Okay? And now I whip a little bit more, around 50% whip. We can get second texture of it, which it's very difficult to get from other type of cream. Okay, because normally for the third and fourth texture, the third texture normally you can get from other type of cream, but second texture is very different. A little bit more. So now I will show the second texture of it. As you can see, I whip until it's quite runny. Okay, it doesn't hold the shape so much, but you can see just now after I pour, right, now it start to have air inside. Okay, it's airy, but it's runny. So what we can use this one, right, we can create a lot of the dessert which is have a flowing effect. Okay, let's say example. Imagine you have a pastry like this. Okay. We can top it. You have a texture a little bit similar to the tea drinks, which you can have a foam texture. You see, we don't need to add anything. Okay, I don't add anything. You can do the recipe without any sugar, no problem. And we don't need to add extra fat or gelatin inside. Because if you see, right, it's very runny, but it holds the shape after you put it for a while. But there's no stabilizer because whatever cream we have over here, inside we only have one stabilizer, which at the market now, everyone is using, which is carrageenan, which is natural stabilizer. It's a natural ingredient. We get it from the seaweed. Okay, you will have it because in order for the cream to put inside the packaging, okay, they need to have this inside to avoid transportation. It whip up. Okay, so all the cream you buy from other brand or whatsoever brand, minimum you have these ingredients inside. But for Candia Professional, we only have this. We don't have others. You can check for other brands. Okay, sometimes certain cream, whipped cream, they might have 6 additive inside, which I don't think. One of the reasons I work with Candia Professional, right, because I believe the quality and also it suits the trend right now. We want to eat something healthy, so I don't like to work with a product that with a lot of additive inside. Okay. So you can see, it's runny, but on the same time, it holds the shape. For this texture, is extremely hard to get from a lot of cream because normally in order to get like this, it hold the shape, you have to add gelatin or some extra fat inside, butter or chocolate. Okay, but this we can use it right away. Okay, so yes. But you can use for tiramisu cake. And there's another reason that we use this cream for tiramisu. It can give you very good taste. Somehow we don't even need to add mascarpone. I have a recipe created for tiramisu without mascarpone inside because the reason we have mascarpone, one for the taste, right? But the taste is coming from the fat. For us to have a stronger fat inside our cakes itself. But this one originally we already have a strong, higher fat, and the dairy taste is very similar to mascarpone. For our during our symposium for Candia Professional, we try also with the tiramisu with mascarpone and without mascarpone. If you do a blind test, if very professional chef, you do side by side, you can taste a little bit different, okay, because you still will taste the mascarpone. But if normal taste like this, if you don't taste side by side, right, somehow a lot of people are choosing directly using this taste better. Then now I'll whip a little bit more. For normally we use for the mousse texture, which you can see it hold the shape a little bit more. Okay, it hold the shape a little bit, but if you shake right, it can still flow down. Okay. Get the piping back. Yes, thank you. 有一个 nozzle. Oh, sorry. 不要你们这样好，这样好。我没有不影响我，不影响我。你放进去反而会影响我。帮我拿那一个nozzle 的。这放在旁边哦，我们可以直接拿。全部拿出来。So this one, I will show you the piping. Then you can see how consistent it is. Again, guys, I didn't add anything. It's just pure cream. I don't add any extra stabilizer like gelatin or whatsoever inside, or sugar, or cornstarch to stabilize it. It's just 40% gourmet cream. So you can see, it can give you very nice sharp piping. Okay. And now I will go for the next stage. I will whip more. This one normally, right, we call it 100% whip. Okay, you will see the texture looks rough a little bit, but it's good for using for the, like normally we cook cake, right? In the middle of the sponge, we need to have a cream. But if you whip at this stage, right, certain time when you put soft, like you put a jelly or fruits, right, it cannot sustain. So normally I want to be light, I whip more. But when it looks rough, but when you eat, you don't feel rough. So that is the maximum of the whipping of a cream. In Asia, we don't use so much, but for me, I think a lot of people miss out this texture. Okay, I will show you. Sorry? Oh, of course, you can add chocolate to this. They will become even more stable because you are adding extra fat, and it's the chocolate fat, cocoa butter, that can make it very stable. This we can keep in the chiller. And always keep the cream in the chiller. The reason is, if you are using a dairy cream, the start from production until you get it, and when you use it, right, it have to be under the condition below 10 degrees. Some below 8 degrees. Okay? If one of the time you goes higher, you chew again, right, the texture change. You don't see it change, but the texture change, because from ice you cannot see the particle already separate. Okay? That's why sometimes you whip the cream, right, you see, I whip for a long time, I get this texture. Like I explained to you, a bit more rough, right? But it's heaven split. If you taste it, it's still very smooth. This is 100% whip, which we very seldom use, but normally I use for the middle of the cake, because the reason we use a whipped cream, we want it to be light. This is the time which is the lightest. But don't over whip, if not, you'll feel the buttery texture in your mouth, okay? I mix a little bit to make sure the side is same texture. And let me show you a little bit different. Sorry. Clear. Okay, this one we can clear. This one later I will use again. You help me to scrape into the bowl, okay, and put inside the chiller, okay. Come on, just now the heat gun, the here, can you? Or you give me a small torch, or a torch is okay. So as you can see, we have 4 different texture over here. You can decide whatever you want to use. For 40% cream, this texture is very different with others. Because the other cream, right, you have to add gelatin inside in order to get this texture. If not, when you keep inside the chiller or room, just a while it flow out. Because the fat content is not enough. And for 40%, the good part is, beginning you feel it's very flowy, but the moment we put, it hold the shape. Okay? And you might wondering sometimes why in the market there's like just now Carl mentioned about the French touch or French original. It's not that in France is the best. Okay, I don't want to keep it as in France is the best, but normally for dairy, because cream and butter is from milk, right? The milk sauce, okay, is very hard to compete with European. So normally as a chef, we consider the dairy product from France. Normally the quality is better. Why? Because the grass they are eating and the condition in France when they have the farm, right? Because in France there's rules. In one farm, they can only have, I don't remember, it's 61 or 65 cow in one farm. So they are not like in Australia or in China or in Asia. A farm you can have 1,000 cow inside. In France are not like that. There are restrictions in the law. Only fix 60 to 65 cow in one farm. They cannot be more than that. That's why it's very easy for them to take care of the quality of what they produce. That's the reason we always consider in France, right, the dairy is better. And second is a region. Certain region, the grass is much better. The cow, when they eat the grass, they produce the milk which is tastier, healthier, lighter in color. That's why if you notice, right, in Oceania region, like Australia, New Zealand, the cream they have, normally the color is more yellowish. It's not add color or nothing. It's because the cow eat the grass. The grass have the carotene that give a color to the milk or the cream. You understand? So that you cannot change. Like for me, I want to have a pure color and very light taste and very fresh dairy taste. That is the reason I use the cream. Okay, but if there is a color affected and the taste affected, normally I don't consider as a best product. That's the reason a lot of time it can reflect on the price one. In France, the price of the dairy usually a bit higher. After is European, after is Oceania, then after is only Asia. But Japan are separate because Japan have very different. They don't export so much for their whipping cream because their whipping cream not non-pasteurized. That's why you see sometimes you want to buy a Japanese cream, very good one, like 50% or 60% or 45%. The shelf life is only 1 week. They cannot do export. That's why very seldom, normally you see in Taiwan, they manage to import a little bit because it's close. Hong Kong a little bit, but in Malaysia, very difficult. They can have, but the shelf life is super short. Okay. Now I show you another. So I warm up the knife, not very hot, so I can get a clean cut. You see, I just do. You can see, because the fat and the characteristic of it hold the shape after you work, they hold the shape and we can cut straight away. And this, I'm not going to keep in the chiller, I keep over here. It's not a very, I'm not suggest you, I just want to show you the specialty of this cream. But cream, we don't want to keep in the room because it's the dairy product. If you keep long time, there's a lot of bacteria. Sorry? If you don't have, ideally, if anything doesn't melt in Malaysia, it doesn't melt in your stomach. You understand? Because our body temperature is 36.9, 36.7, 36.6. Our mouth temperature normally around 37. Maybe sometime a bit warmer, you go to 38, 39. That's the reason we like chocolate and fat. It melts in our mouth, so you get a good mouthfeel. But imagine it doesn't melt in Malaysia, temperature 35 in the room. I don't suggest you to eat it. After a long time, I mean, if you take out from chiller for 15 minutes, half hours, no problem. What I mean is after 1 hour, because one is bacteria, one is it won't melt. It won't melt in your body, so you cannot digest. You understand? That is the difference. So if you ask me, you need to have an aircon. I can work without aircon. I get the cold water, I put on the side, I chill it on the same time. But if you ask me, is it logical to work like this? For big production, not logic. If home base, okay, you can. You chill the bowl when you whip. You put inside the freezer first the bowl. Then after you take out the bowl, you put the cream inside, you whip. In between, if you take long time to whip, you see you put ice water, you put on top. After you whip, you can use it to pipe. Then it works, okay? But for us, it's difficult. If I want to do 30 cake, you do like this, oh my God. But it does work. There's a way how you start to work in your house. Okay. So now you understand a little bit why we have so many types of cream and the specialty of the 40%. Okay, so now we start with a recipe. The first recipe is the vanilla and citrus Madeleine. So I'm going to show you how to do the Madeleine. Can we get? 那个小心翻过来这里，等一下我可以做。拿出来 Madeleine 的 ingredients. So Madeleine is very simple, simple product, but not easy to do it very nice. Okay. So first of all, if you scan the recipe, you see the recipe, right? There is a caramelized butter or clarified butter. This time I'm using clarified. I didn't caramelize it because I want to showcase the fruit taste more. So how to do the clarified butter? You just cook it low heat until the water evaporates all. You get the clarified butter. If you use a normal butter, the texture not so moist. If you use clarified butter or caramelized butter stronger in the nutty taste, but the texture going to be super moist, okay? Sugar. So baking powder, baking soda, you put into the flour first. Tester. You now tester them. 这样我们拿过来一下 ，OK。baking powder, baking soda, and flour together. Sugar normally if you have a lemon zest in the recipe, if possible, I prefer to put inside the sugar. Let the sugar mix with the lemon zest. It can fully utilize the flavor of the lemon. Okay, you can get very nice taste. Then after that, you can put, basically just mix well everything, but to mix well easier, you put the vanilla paste with the yolk. Salt you can put anywhere, you can put in the sugar, you can put in the flour, doesn't really matter. Milk, I would suggest to put with a clarified butter or the caramelized butter, okay? I wait for the zester for me to put the lemon inside. Don't put like that, you have this tray. So you put inside, okay? Thank you. So for the zest, right, the recipe, now I'm doing 0.5, so I need lemon zest, half. Okay. And same like example, if I do lemon tart or anything, right, usually I put it into the sugar first to mix it well, to let it develop the flavor. It's better. So you get very nice flavor of the Madeleine. After that, we mix with the eggs and the vanilla. Let me help me to melt this. Warm it to 40 degrees. Honey. And important, guys, the flour, right, when you have baking powder, baking soda, I would suggest you, because now I do a demo, I want to show you, we put separately, but the best way is you put it together, you sieve it together. You don't sieve separate because in the recipe, right, a lot of people miss out this part is in the recipe we are using very small amount of baking soda and baking powder because it's very strong. But the moment if you short 1 gram, it affects a lot. But if the flour you short 1 gram, it doesn't see anything. So you put together, you don't need to worry that when you sieve, it fly anywhere or you miss out of it. So first I mix a little bit to make sure the sugar melts a little bit, then I will add in the flour. And if possible, if you are using recipe that able to mix by hand, I prefer to mix by hand because you can control the gluten. You won't develop over gluten. So the Madeleine is going to have very nice texture and they are going to bounce out very nicely. We didn't sieve the flour yet. Oh. Okay, it's okay. Next or later we have to sieve if we are using any flour icing sugar. Okay. Make sure you sieve the flour. Now luckily we are doing a small recipe, it's possible to mix. But if not, they will have a lumps. Then now, last part, we mix in the butter and milk, clarified butter, and that's why you can see the butter is very clear because we clarified it before, okay? And normally, because the egg is a little bit cold, I will warm it up to around 40 degrees to 45 degrees to mix inside. Because ideally, after we finish everything mixing, the temperature it should be around 30. So the fat and the liquid mix well very nicely. We call it emulsify properly. So you will get the Madeleine in a very smooth texture. If not, the bubble or the texture of it is going to be very rough, okay? So I mix out half first, then the other half. If it's cold, you warm out a little bit by double boiling, guys. A lot of people, they don't care about this. They just mix out everything. If a temperature is low, let's say example, when you mix everything, temperature is 20 degrees, right? You don't get the same texture as mine when you see. Later? Oh, don't clear first. You take out the Madeleine that I pipe already one. So guys, here I already pipe some to show you guys because after to save the time, after we done, normally right you can directly pipe into the mold like this, so they are going to be flat. But imagine if you have only one mold, but you have a lot. Normally what I do, I chill this next day, I pipe directly inside. Then when you finish, you unmold, you can pipe again, but this one is around, after you already chill, the temperature around 10 degrees. If you feel difficult to pipe, very thick, right, you can mix with a mixer pedal a little bit soft, then you can pipe. So one more, you can keep on reuse it. So guys, you can see the texture, smooth, but it's almost like a ganache. Okay, it's not thick or nothing because now the temperature is around 30 degrees. Okay. Yeah, we can clear. Thank you. And sorry, I speak too much. And for the baking, it depends on the mold, okay? Like later the tasting you are going to have like small size. If small size, they baking faster. So if small size, right, I will put inside the oven 190 to 200 for 2 to 3 minutes. Then I reduce the heat to 170 and bake for 5 minutes. That is the small one. Later you're gonna taste. And for the big one like this, okay, it depends on the mold. If your mold is like mine, very deep, you can directly bake 170. Okay, it's a good mold. But if you have a normal mold which is shallow, you start with 190, you put inside, okay, bake 5 minutes, you reduce to 170, you continue bake another total around this size, right? Normally 12 to 15 minutes. It's not one temperature for everything because different mold you have to use different. Okay, in order for us to get the tummy. If Madeleine without tummy, for us, I mean, it can be it. It's just to be proper one Madeleine without tummy. It's not a Madeleine. It's a failed Madeleine for us, but it's a good cake. Okay. Beside the shape, everything is going to be similar. Okay. Then for my mold, I didn't because this mold is really non-stick. I get it from Korea, but it's not a must. I can use a normal mold. If your mold is you try already it's non-stick, then you can use it directly. But if it's sticky, I teach you a way. You brush a thin layers of butter, or you spray a thin layers of oil. You sieve the flour on top. You tap out excess flour. Only super thin of flour is enough. Then it make it non-stick already. Okay. So we get the icing. I show them the dipping and the syrup. Later we dip for them to see. So for the syrup, right, I already prepared here. You just melt the sugar and glucose together. Then you put in the vanilla stick and the yuzu puree. Okay. If you don't want to use yuzu, I put yuzu puree in order to get the flavor. A little bit of the extra fragrance. If you don't want, it's okay. Then after, now we go and do the yuzu icing. Oh, it's okay. This one is okay because it's a liquid, is possible. So you put the water and yuzu puree together, then we mix. The whisk here. Thank you. Lam, you help me to scale 1 liter of cream. You scale 1 liter of cream, icing sugar 60 gram, vanilla bean 2 pieces. So now we have icing. This is, I pre-prepared the Madeleine already. And the original is supposed to be like this. You bake already. It come out from the oven. Okay. You let it cool down a little bit. You dip inside the syrup. Why? Because normally after you bake, right, outside of a Madeleine is very dry. You have a crust. For a good Madeleine, we don't want to have a thick crust outside. We dip the dry one into the syrup, let it absorb the flavor. Then the whole mix of a Madeleine is going to be very tasty. Okay. Then after you get like this, you can call Yong come over here to help to scoop. We just dip the surface of it. Okay. Then you take out. Let the excess of the icing clear out. They will continue drip, you don't worry. Because later, right, we are going to put inside the oven for drying 1 minute after I bake this, okay? If you have, I mean, this is a small amount, so I put it directly. Usually you put on the wire rack, let the excess drip out, you can reuse back, okay? Why I want to, you can do without the glazing, it's not a problem, it's not a big deal. A lot of people, they're serving without it, but I like to have it because it gives extra texture, like a crust. And also it protects. I keep like this, later you will see the one I keep outside, right? Leave it empty like this. It's not going to get dry easily because I have a crust to protect it, okay? I think it's very suitable for the production. Okay, thank you. And you can see my Madeleine, I have a good hum, okay? But on the same time, my mold is very deep. It's very easy to get a good hum. Sometimes if you buy the thinner one, you can also, but try to follow the temperature that I mentioned, okay? And you can see the baking, you see slowly the middle start to raise up. Easy to understand, when you choose the Madeleine mold, the deeper it is, easier to get the body nicer, the tummy nicer, okay? Thinner one, more difficult, okay? So I cannot open the oven first for a while. I leave it for a while to dry a little bit. And now, Lam, you give me the cream. Come, give to me. I whip now. I show them. This will help me to clear a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, you give me the pineapple. So guys, here I prepare a basic chantilly. Because normal Madeleine you can serve like this, but for me, I want you to taste the cream, 40% cream, so I pair it with the Madeleine. Okay, so you can, later I will scoop, like just now I mentioned, I show the second texture of it, which it hold the shape. I will use on the Madeleine, and you can taste and you feel the flavor of the butter. Flavor of the cream itself. Okay, so I will serve it to you, and you can taste it together with the Madeleine. So same things. Over here I have the cream and 6% of the icing sugar to give a sweetness. You can use sugar also. Icing sugar also can. The difference is if icing sugar, right, I can make sure the icing sugar melt properly. If sugar, normally I whip slower speed to give it more time to whip to let it melt properly. Okay. Then vanilla, you can according to your personal preference. If you are rich, you can put 10. But it's true, a lot of it, depending on the selling price, we can decide how much of the. Nowadays, a lot of the chefs we like to do the chantilly until the vanilla looks black color for your cream. But if you see Instagram a lot like this, but if you ask me, is it possible to sell? Not possible, especially in Asia, because we have to import all these things. It's more expensive. Okay. So I just mix up and I whip it up. It's 1 liter. You got scale. The cream you got scale. It's not you, or you just take 1 box. You take 1 box or you scale. 1 box is not 1 liter 100%. Usually it's stuck inside the box. I put a little bit more. Give me the cream. It's okay. I use just now a leftover. Just now I whip this morning to see. This one. Yes. So guys, this one just now, the leftover, I show you the texture. I mix inside because I think it short a little bit. This one can clear. Yeah. The earlier one, I put it inside. It doesn't affect one. So there's no wastage. Can take the Madeleine out. We scoop. Kakak tadi itu kecil punya spoon mana? So this is a small Madeleine that I mentioned. Okay, you see you have a body, the tummy, but it's very small. It's very small. It's very thin over here. So when I do baking, I have to be more careful. Okay. Now I'm gonna scoop the cream on top so you can taste the Madeleine, which I'm using the Candia butter over here. Okay, you can feel the flavor because different region of butter you can get totally different kind of flavor. Okay, I choose Madeleine recipe. One is easy for you to do. On the same time, I want to showcase this butter. Okay. You take out the mango. We put a little bit on the side. We have extra. Normally for making the chantilly, it's very easy. It's only cream and sugar. If you want to put vanilla flavor, you can. But you can decide the percentage of the sugar inside. It can be, normally Asia, we like to have between 5% to 8%. More than 8%, normally for Malaysia, we feel too sweet already. Now I'm putting 6%. Okay? After I put mango. So guys, I whip until, earlier I mentioned to you, around 50% whip, you see. Very soft. I'm going to scoop on top with a spoon. So later you can taste both cream and also the Madeleine. Okay, later you guys help me. Okay. Then a little bit of mango. Try to don't take the sauce, just take the mango. Because guys, for the 40% cream, right, have one more characteristic, I feel very unique, is if you pair it with fruits, especially acidic fruit, right, you can have a aftertaste of the cream much longer. The dairy taste, right, is very long. You feel already, you eat already, it's not empty in your mouth. You have a flavor last long. Okay, that's why I pair it with mango. Okay, okay, we start to put up so we can serve to them. Chef Yong, I put this, then you give me another bowl. I pour this out to the bowl. Yeah. Then there's another spoon over here. This one I can showcase to them. You guys help me to put, Ken? You come on, you stay with me. Lam, you put, okay? Then guys, while waiting for it, any question you want to ask? Yes. Right now what I'm using is 6%. Very 8 to 10. 8 to 10. Very classic one, we use 10%. But after, throughout my career, I'm using 8% a lot. But when I'm traveling a lot, I know the Asian, we don't like to have too sweet. I think 6 is good. I tried to put 5 last time. Normally in my shop I use 5, but last demo I do in Taylor's, it's not open to public. It's for the cafe owner, professional. I get the feedback is they feel not sweet enough, so I put 6%. I think you try out. I mean, this you can adjust yourself. And if you want, you can also sprinkle a little bit of sea salt, enhance the taste. But today, I want to showcase the flavor of the cream and also the butter. That's why I don't want to put too much sea salt. Okay. Yes. So 100 gram of the 40%. I mean the gourmet cream, 6 gram of the sugar or icing sugar. Vanilla, you decide how much you want to put, or you want to put vanilla essence also can. That doesn't affect, because you just make sure if the environment is not hot, not too hot. If it's too hot, you whip faster speed. It's different. Meringue, you take care of the speed because it gives you a good bubble. But for cream, it's not really, because the air bubble you get is from the fat. Fat not collapse easily like meringue. So that will apply to meringue, but we don't apply so much on the cream. Okay. So after it comes out, oh, it's done already. We didn't set the timing. Oh. Yeah. I show them. So guys, sorry, I talk too much. I forgot to set the timing, but the color is okay. So you see, you have a hum. But one thing, I didn't wait. I bake it too cold for when you have a mold very deep. It might happen like this. You see, here. But the oven I'm not used to it, so I haven't controlled. I use the same temperature, but ideally you get like this, very nice. But because it's deep, so you see the hum is going to be very nice. And normally after come out from the oven, I do like this to release the steam a little bit. And after it cool down a little bit more, we dip into the syrup. Because the surface very dry one. If you eat this very dry one, okay. So I put inside, then you leave like this. Okay, or you after cool down you put on the tray lah. Okay. You clear for this? Okay. We clear this one. Okay. Hot this one. Be careful, guys. This one is hot, I put here first, And this we put 1 minute. Put the timer. 1 minute, then we can take out. So the excess icing will leak out. But if you want to save money, you don't do like me. You put on the wire rack. Now because we are not going to keep, in order for us to have a good smooth demonstration, I cannot do 20 to show you. You are going to be boring. Okay. So I do 4 only. If done one already, can start to ask them to pass, okay? So while waiting for that, if no question, I will start the next recipe. Yes? Inside the recipe? Inside the recipe you see. Yeah, we can. Yeah, orange not, because lemon, calamansi, something similar acidity, you give you the similar sweetness and acidity. But if you substitute with orange, you get sweeter, then you don't get the flavor so much. So if you want, lemon is the easiest. Or calamansi, I think is good. No, this one, in the recipe, there's no, you want to put, you can extra flavor, because I put because, you remember just now I scraped the excess one. Normally I put inside whatever I can. So I don't waste. So you see, guys, you have a, I didn't clean out nicely. It's supposed to be on wire rack again. Okay, you have a nice icing on top, glazing. And after 1 minute, 170 degrees inside the oven, after a while it dries up. Later you eat, you feel a thin crust on top of the Madeleine. It's a protection on the same time. I put the yuzu to make it a little bit acidic and flavor. I don't like to just use icing. It's sweet. Asian don't like it. Okay. Oh no, Madeleine in the room, no problem. But because now I want to showcase the cream, after you put the cream, you serve it directly, or after you have to put inside the chiller. Yeah. But normally I would suggest if you want to sell, you sell directly the Madeleine. It's a room temperature. And what we have over here, I already aged it overnight for the fats to develop better flavor. You don't bake and eat the same day. It's tastier on the next 2 days. Okay? OK 了，谢谢。这个after keep for afternoon， 所以下午的就可能让你帮忙直接 scoop 哦，我就不用解释给他们看嘛，因为。 So the next recipe is wasabi and exotic fruit dacquoise. Okay. Any other question, guys, regarding the Madeleine? No, so yes. Yes, you have to rest better in the chiller overnight. Yeah. 2 hours not enough. I would suggest minimum 4 hours. The reason we rest, one is to make sure we bake the Madeleine while it's cold. In order to get because the idea we get the tummy, right, is when we bake, because the mold is like this, you notice, right? So the side is thinner. When we bake, right, the side will bake faster. So when you bake halfway, it starts to dry and set already. But center is deeper, the heat takes time to go in. So the reason it slowly grow, but side is already cooked, it doesn't grow, so you get the hump. That's why if you bake in the room temperature, the hump is going to be smaller. Why? Because the heat goes to the middle faster. So the side and the center have a similar time to bake. So you get a hump but a little bit smaller. If you want to have a big hump, you bake while it's chilled. Okay? Yes. Well, 4, 8, 10, even 12, 15, it doesn't really matter because my production, I think they cannot bake it between 10 degrees. Too many. So at the moment I bake, there's no problem. When you touch it, it's cold, then okay. So that's why I suggest minimum put inside the chiller for 4 hours. You have the time to develop the flavor and also rest properly and also cold. Okay? One minute. If you not put in the oven, you leave dry like this, they can, but very thick. Because icing very sweet, but if you notice this icing give you very good texture. And also, because I add yuzu, you have a extra flavor inside, okay? But I don't want to be thick. It's icing sugar in the end. And you cannot reduce the sugar. If you reduce the sugar, it's not icing because it's only water. It doesn't give you a crust. It doesn't help do any purpose. You understand? So, the moment you glaze already, before you dry, you put in the oven, right? Because it's hot, they move the icing down and give you very shining look. You see just now it looks a little bit like have an extra glaze, right? Because you bake it. If you leave it room dry, it doesn't have the same effect. Sorry? But you cannot because the Madeleine, after you take out from the oven, they are very soft. The moment you hold it, it can melt already. Yeah. Okay? But you can, okay? It's a cake recipe, okay? But the shape you have to control by the different baking temperature. Because they might crack, then you have to use lower temperature. But it's a good recipe for a cake. Let's say, for example, you want to do a sponge. It's a good recipe for sponge, okay? But ideally, we serve it room temperature. We don't, for Madeleine, I think it's too, because the fat is a lot. I don't like to serve in the chilling temperature because the fat setting in the chiller. So when you eat, it's firmer. It becomes like a ganache. You eat a lot of fat. It's not like a moist cake that you are eating now. Okay? Yes? What time? Okay. Ken? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I want to, I mean, it's, with the ratio I give you, it's an icing. It's not glaze, It's an icing, You cannot put a glaze on the Madeleine because it doesn't give any purpose. But icing, I want to give a protection and the crust. Yeah, I want to give the crust. If you don't want to have a crust, easier you don't do this. Because it doesn't give, if you put a like neutral glaze on top, it doesn't give any purpose. That is a glaze. Glaze is smooth. Icing was different because I do understand a lot of people call glazing as an icing on the cake, but ideally icing is icing, glazing is glazing. Okay. So I start the next recipe, guys. If not, we are going to run until 3 o'clock. Okay, so the next one is a dacquoise. We start with a coconut dacquoise. egg whites. Oops. 别，你拔掉呢，我刮这个，小心啊！我拿一个 scraper。I didn't see the egg whites. In the chiller, he didn't take out yet, or what? Is 0.5, so we need to have an egg white 100 gram. Is it 100 gram? This one is for what? Then we take out 100 gram from here. Scale 100 gram for me. Directly inside the bowl. Mixing. So guys, for the coconut dacquoise, we have the desiccated coconut. We toast it. But guys, just one information for everyone. Different countries, you get a desiccated coconut might be very different. In Malaysia, we get a desiccated coconut super dry. Very light. Okay, so example, now I'm doing half recipe. In Malaysia, we get 20 gram, because original recipe is 40 gram, but this is 20 gram. It's a lot. But if you are in Europe or if you are in other countries, the 20 gram sometimes is only half of it. So you be careful, because now I give you a recipe on the base of desiccated coconut in Malaysia. If you switch to Europe, if you notice it's more heavier, normally it's the desiccated coconut with more fats inside. You have to double up the amount. If not, you don't have enough solid ingredients inside your recipe. Understand? You will see different desiccated coconut, sometimes 20 gram like this, sometimes very less. You have to put extra until it's the same. Okay? So I put almond powder, flour, icing sugar together with sieve. Then, just one small information for you guys. When you do this dacquoise, if you are not so familiar with checking the meringue, you freeze your egg white a little bit. Like I'm using chiller temperature, I don't mind, but like how you do the chiffon cake, a lot of people, they like to freeze the egg white a little bit. That means you put the egg whites inside the freezer for 10 minutes. You see side have a little bit of ice. You use. Why like this? You are going to get, the meringue will take longer time to whip up, but you will get the meringue more stable. Because you take long time to whip, the bubble inside is going to be super stable. When you fold, it's less easy to collapse. And this recipe, I already add in egg white powder to make it more stable, so I'm not worried too much, okay? But if I do a big recipe like I prepare for you guys to eat right today, I do freeze my egg white a little bit because I do long time. So sugar and egg white powder you put together, you put a little bit for starting to whip. Then after you whip up, we put slowly again the remaining sugar and egg white powder. And this, I'm using medium speed. Like just now we mentioned, the speed of whipping the product, right? Meringue, I want to be stable, I use medium speed, okay? The reason medium speed, they can slowly whip out meringue and you get a bubble more even. Okay, this one help me to sieve. Press out nicely. Yeah, do here. After I mix this. So we whip until we see the egg white is raised up. Then slowly I add the remaining egg white powder and sugar inside slowly. Put inside. Yeah, it's part of the recipe. We sieve because we don't want to have a lumps. If you see bigger piece of the almonds or whatsoever, we can put inside. Okay. You help me to put in on the tray. This one. With a silk pad. So you see the egg white start to raise up. Every gap around 20 seconds to 30 seconds, I put one time of the sugar normally. Why is the reason we don't put all the sugar one time? The sugar is heavy. If you put directly in the beginning, right, they are too heavy for the egg white to raise up nicely. Provided if your recipe have very small amount of sugar. Okay, certain sponge we only have 20% of sugar compared to the egg white. Let's say example, if your egg white is 100 gram, you have only 20 gram, then you can put everything inside. Beginning, no problem. But now the recipe we have egg white is 200, but we have a sugar 85 gram, which is around 100. That is 45%. Then it's high. Then you don't put all inside. You put slowly. Okay. Now I have to whip until firm peak. Okay. Here, the dry ingredients we put together. Later, after I done, I will fold inside. Maybe a big stainless steel bowl. Easier for them to see how I fold. Okay. Come on, you get one for me. The big Dacquoise mold. Stainless steel Dacquoise mold down. Big one. Yep. Can ask them to bring out the Dacquoise already for tasting for the morning one. Can bring out and keep here. Don't give first. Let me finish only the gift. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you the texture. Firm peak. Okay. So you don't worry when you do firm peak. You don't need to worry it will fall. Drop. Okay. I change over here easier for you guys to see. Because I fold here, maybe more difficult for you to see. Give me one piping bag as well. So we put a small amount inside first. This is not flour. It's the almond powder mix. There's no gluten. You can put more. Normally I divide to 3 times. Okay. Then you fold like this. You don't want it to collapse. You fold it properly. Center to the side. If this one technical, guys. We don't want to press. We cut. And mix. Come on, you help me to pour so I can mix easily. Wait, slowly. Let me mix well first. Oh, okay, come. half first, then the other half. Come, remaining. Can come all already. So guys, after you mix well, you see, it's not watery. If it's watery, then bye-bye, you overflow already, okay? So how to check whether you overflow, why it's watery? And another thing, when you whip, you have to take care of the egg whites properly to do a proper meringue. If your meringue is not good, no matter how good is your skill of folding, no point. But after, if your meringue is good, you have to have a skill on folding as well. Okay, that's why I show you how I fold, okay? Normally, center, you cut to the side, turn the mixture instead of mixing, okay? So you can see how very stable they hold the shape, okay? So now I'll put inside the piping bag. Then I have a mold for the Dacquoise. You can choose different shape, but normally this one is nowadays we like to have more fancy, okay? And it's not too expensive. 你们这边有没有卖 Dacquoise mold? You can, but pasteurized egg white volume lesser. Volume lesser because they pasteurize. The reason anything we can whip out, right? One is because of fat, one is because of protein. The moment you pasteurize, they have to go through a short time with a high heat. The protein break down, so they cannot whip out so nicely. Oh, fresh egg white. So I pipe inside the mold. Thank you. Give me the icing sugar. In the container, I need to sprinkle. Put too less. And after, we can get a scraper to clean. 你 clear 太快了。不要紧。You can see I do halfway because I can cover the whole. So another thing also, when you do big production for this, right? That's why just now I mentioned when I do the tasting for you guys, I do bigger because I need to reuse the meringue, right? So I make sure I have a meringue. Sorry, I need to reuse the mixture. So I make sure my meringue is super stable. If not, you keep on scraping, later you waste all this. But if you notice, I scrape already, it's still fine. After, just slowly brings it up. Okay. Thank you. And after, you put 2 layers of icing, just a little bit. to give a crust on your Dacquoise and give a rustic effect as well. Ideally, you should wait another 2 minutes, only you put icing. I want to be fast, okay? I put second. Okay. And normally, the house oven, like right now, same, this oven, they normally professional, I mean, when we do convection oven, right, we can have a area to take out the ventilation. So we can release the steam inside, but now this one don't have. So what I do like this way. 那个不可以，它太里面了这个，所以那天我烤的时候我这样子。You can put a small thin carton, or a lot of people ask to put a spoon, but for this one spoon cannot because it's too thick. The hole is too big, so you lose the temperature. So I do like this, very small space for the steam to go out. Why? If a steam is inside, your Dacquoise is going to grow. If you want to because anything you want it to grow, you need to make sure it's tight. Because when you bake anything, the water becomes steam. Steam push the product to raise up. Like you do bread, right? You must close properly, tight. Okay. That's why sometimes when we buy oven, a lot of people will say, "Oh, the oven maybe it's not so tight, so it's not the best quality." But the good quality is supposed to be very tight. But normally the design we can have one is take out ventilation. But I know at home we might don't have, so I do the way like this. So you create the situation that you want. Okay. 180 degrees, go inside 12 to 15 minutes. Okay. You said 12 minutes, later we check. Okay. So then magic, we have the Dacquoise done. So you see. Okay. But because if I wait for this, right, you have to wait, take out, cool down. I don't know what to do in between. I cannot send down with you guys also. So, yes, and the passion fruit juice or puree. So over here, right, I have a passion fruit puree. Okay, I brush to get extra flavor. You don't want to do, no problem. If you feel, oh chef, troublesome, I need to get one more extra passion fruit, but it gives you better taste. I do thin layers. This one help me to warm up the apricot glaze. Just one layer is enough. Don't put too much, because if you put too much, right, later the Dacquoise is going to be super soft. You don't. We want the center to be soft, but the outside you have a crust. Okay. And the other side, you can get. I do the easy recipe for you guys. I directly use the apricot jam that you can get in the market. I put the thin layers on top of the Dacquoise. You have a good protection. Later, any fruits I put on top, it doesn't make it soft. Okay. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. We get a palette knife. Easier. And I choose apricot because it pairs well with a mango, passion fruit, all this, and easy to get in the market as well. Open. So for the wasabi ganache, because due to the time, I already prepared. I explained you how to do. Okay. You help me to put inside the piping bag. Okay. Don't mix too much. And one more thing, guys. The wasabi ganache, right? After you done, you need to, if you are rushing, you keep inside the chiller for 2 to 3 hours. If firm out, then you can use. If you are not rushing, you can keep overnight in the aircon room. Then you have a good texture for piping. Because after you just do the ganache, right, normally it's very watery. Okay, so you put inside with a nozzle. Okay. The method of the ganache is you warm up the signature cream 35%, this one. Okay, and now I explain a little bit what's the difference between 35% and 40%. Really, 35% is super versatile. It suits everything. But I cannot do the texture like I showed you earlier over there because it doesn't hold the shape after you keep long time. You understand? You can get the same texture I show you, but after you keep, it collapses. Okay? But normally, you need to add gelatin inside anything to make it stable, to make like a chantilly. But the difference, this one lighter than 40%. And why in the market always you see almost all the brands that have a percentage of fat is around 35% is because at this percentage, you get the best volume for your cream. If you go 40%, the volume actually little bit lesser. How to say the volume? Means the whipping rate. This one is higher than that. This one is, if not mistaken, I don't exactly remember. Let me see. Oh, I didn't have a spec with me right now, but if not mistaken, 2.8. That means one part you can get 2.8 extra yield. Okay, this one lesser. If not mistaken, is only 2. Okay, some other brand even with 35, you get the yield maybe 2.2 or 2.3 only. But at the market in Malaysia now, you don't have any other brand are doing 40%. I think the highest is 38 only. Okay, so another things, when I want to do the mousse, I will use this. Why? When I do the mousse, why I want to add whipped cream inside the mousse recipe, usually I need to put air inside. This gives me better air compared to that. Okay, but today, if I want to do a cream cake, I will use that. Why? Better flavor in the dairy because higher fat content. Okay, because very easy one. Cream and butter, which one stronger taste? Butter. Okay, it's all from the milk, but because when they produce, they take out the water from the milk slowly, they become cream, and they take out more liquid slowly, they become butter. So the dairy taste for the butter is more intense. Okay, so but easier to work as well. You don't need to add anything. You can cook for the cake, and very stable when you cut, like I showed you earlier. Okay, you want to use this can, but you have to be more technical. But just one thing, taste you cannot change. This one with a fruit, very very good taste. Just now you taste already. With a fruit, right? Your mouth you have a. I don't know why they didn't tell me whatsoever, but they didn't add anything inside. I don't know why. How come the dairy taste can last so long when you eat with a fruit? Okay. Then now I come back to the ganache. We warm up the cream, pour into the white chocolate. Then we add in wasabi paste and butter. Then we blend to make it smooth. And after you keep, like just now I mentioned, if you want to be rushed, you keep inside the chiller. If not, you keep overnight. Then it's a piping consistency. Okay. So the next one, we are going to do the caramelized nuts. Okay. So this one, after a while, we do a caramelized nut after I show the assembling. This one can clear already. Thank you. So much 啊？不是的，这个你翻过来，我们一起开。你翻出来，不然我不知道哪一个。So now we are going to do the caramelized nuts. Is a exotic fruit caramel sauce. nuts, we don't need this. We can use the one chop the bowl. Yep. No, there's another the nuts. 那一天我们分出来了，来在上面那边。哎，不是，it's okay. Yeah, this one we don't have. I explain. Sorry. This one how me to open? Okay. So we are going to cook a caramel first, huh? Black color spatula. Oh, this one is fine. Okay, so we are going to start with caramel and the cream. We can warm up inside the microwave to make it hot. If not, later the sugar will all set. Okay. Let me help me to check, make sure it's hot. Okay. I will start with a caramel. The Dacquoise is up already. Why? I asked you to bring up. 什么？我不要放起了，放外面，它要 defrost 一下，我不要 serve 太冷，叫他们拿上来哦。放在外面现在。Ask them to bring 啊 ，you don't need to bring。没有，我那个我要 serve 一点点。啊，不是 defrost，就是不要起了这样冷，因为它有 ganache。啊，所以我叫你拿上来先，我知道它是在起了的，没有跟我讲。And we are doing the dry caramel, right? So it's okay, hot is okay already. Give to me. You don't add all the sugar one time. If not, right, it's very difficult to cook. And I understand a lot of people saying, do caramel, don't stir too much. This is a common idea that you guys have. Actually, it's not cooked caramel, you don't stir too much. Actually, it's when you stir too much, you lose the heat. Then they caramelize, they crystallize. But if you have a heat like now, my heat is strong, I stir like crazy, no problem. And you control. You control. If you see it caramelizes too fast, you remove. And after you, the reason we add slowly is we have a sugar. You can cool down this mixture. Okay. So you see, I stir quite a lot. But when you do wet caramel, means I have a sugar and I put water. That you don't need to stir. Because the sugar, the reason we add the sugar is to make it melt evenly. Then you don't need to stir because they can melt evenly. Okay? You stir a little bit, okay, but don't stir too much for the wet caramel. Dry one you have to stir. If not, very difficult to get a proper caramel. And when you want to do caramel sauce, right, one more information, very important, okay, is to make sure the pot at least triple size of your mix. Because the moment you put it liquid, they are going to raise up. Okay? So I caramel the sugar already. Light caramel is enough. I reduce the heat. I add in 3 halos. 3 halos can help to stop the caramelization. Yeah, and it's less sweet also. And also you see I put it inside, right? It stop because it's almost powder, they melt easily. They cool down the caramel. You can show to them, okay? You can put here to let them see. So guys, you can, this one nicer than the day I prepared with them. Okay guys, you see, then let it cool down. 如果等一下我来得及，我就用它，如果没有的。Okay, melted everything. Normally my habit, I like to add the butter first, because butter You put inside, it helps to cool down the mixture as well. So you add butter, you mix well. Then after only I add in the cream. Some chefs, they like to add the cream first. But if you add the cream first, right, a lot of time they raise up a lot. And if you notice, I'm using a light caramel because after I add everything, I have to continue cook. The caramel is going to slowly go stronger. And with fruits, normally I don't like to have a strong caramel. Okay, everything melted. I add the cream. Be careful when you add the cream because a lot of steam comes out. You don't put your hand on top. Then you're gonna burn your hand. You put outside of the pot. You see I stir like this. And from the moment I stop the caramel, right, I'm using low heat already. So I have time to control the mixture. Honey as well. Flavor. And give, like, because now I almost stopped cooking, the caramel the honey also, because I don't cook too much, it gives you more, a good texture between watery and gluey. Sorry? Trimoline? You can replace with, the trehalose, you can replace with sugar if you don't want to use it. One is going to, I like to do a way, now I have a caramel, but you cannot control the temperature easily over. So I have a trehalose. The moment I get the color I want, right, I stop cooking on very low heat. I put the trehalose, it cool down everything. And also, it melts straight away. Trehalose melts easily. And because the trehalose not caramelized, but if it's not caramelized, usually very sweet. But trehalose originally, the sweetness is much lower than sugar. That's why I choose trehalose. You can use glucose or whatsoever, but it's more difficult to use for this way. I just use it to cool down my caramel only, that's all. Easy to understand. Sorry? You can, but you be careful on the caramel you cook. Because just one thing, guys, when you cook the caramel with fruits, like this one, I have a mango or passion fruit puree inside. If with fruits, we don't want to have a strong caramel. If you have strong caramel, it tastes like medicine. Because if you notice, in Malaysia, usually when we are kids, we eat the cough syrup or a lot of medicine. The flavor is either strawberry, cherries. Cherries is a lot. That's why if you are not eating the proper cherry, you use any flavoring which is cherry, we don't like one. You cannot change it. If in Europe, in France, they don't like orange because their cough syrup is orange. That is a culture we have. You cannot change it. But if you eat the orange, it's okay. I mean the flavoring. So in order, this one same, because I put passion fruit, if the caramel was too strong, okay, it tastes like medicine also. So you want to have a light caramel with a fruit. Okay? So you see, I cook nicely, don't have lumps, nothing. Everything melted. Okay? Then ideally, when you do big production, you want to be safe. In the recipe, I put it 104 degrees. I continue cook to 104 degrees. But now I do a small recipe. Usually when you put everything, it's already 104 degrees because you continue cook. Understand? If big recipe, it's better to check. Now it's okay. Then now, you see in the recipe, I have a chopped almond, macadamia, hazelnut. I let it cool down. I mix the nuts inside. Then after you get like this. Understand? This is the sauce. You see, this one done already. Can scoop it out. Okay, sorry. You see, huh? I put the chopped nuts together with a sauce. You see? And the sauce we cook to 104 degrees. You remove the excess humidity, means the water content. Okay, they are thick. They are not going to make the nuts soggy. If you don't cook enough, too much water content you have inside the recipe, you put with the nuts after 1 day it's soggy. This one I already put 2 days. And this one keep in the room temperature you want, you can eat. Okay, so now I continue show you how to finish the Dacquoise. 不用了，我们没有用了。这些好了，不用。I don't mix because mix already we waste the nuts. I just explain to them. Basically, guys, we have to add in the chopped nuts, okay? But because I have a leftover, I don't need to mix. If not, we are going to waste all the nuts because this afternoon they are going to clear everything also. So the caramelized nuts. Yeah, of course. Chop roasted nuts. If not, you don't have a taste, okay? The top, I use the one we bake, fresh, new one. 刚才我刚刚 bake 的那一个在哪里啊？啊，可以啊，我上面底下用那一个，你放去 blast freezer 一下就好。It's okay, we don't need to put the syrup thing because it's for presentation only. So we have nuts in between to give extra crunch. And also a lot of flavor. Then after with the ganache, I put a star nozzle, okay? And after, in the recipe, I go put down the mango we cut to cube, right? And normally to avoid it to get dry, I take the neutral glaze and passion fruit puree, I mix together. So I cook together so the mango is not going to get dry and the passion fruit puree brings out the taste of the mango, okay? Strainer, too much juice. Okay. Okay. It's okay. Too much juice, I don't want too much juice, I strain out a little bit. Okay. We can serve the Dacquoise. So guys, you see, the cream I'm using 35%. Later you can feel the texture of the ganache, so you can feel. And I don't like, because normally Dacquoise sugar content is a bit high. There's a reason I prefer to have some fruits inside to give a taste more balance. Okay, you try. And I do extreme flavor this time, wasabi. But don't worry, I'm not putting a lot. It's a hint. It's not like make you feel like super spicy. Okay. To be very different, a little bit savory, but you don't feel over. But I adjust the amount just nice for the wasabi inside. You eat, you don't be like, oh, suddenly too strong. Oh, right, wasabi, I'm not the ambassador, so you can buy, you can try. Paste, wasabi paste. If you want to buy powder, you adjust. See, the ganache recipe you have already. Wasabi is add after. You can add and taste, until you feel it's nice, then you stop. But a bit too difficult. It will, but the sweet, but on the same time, they give you the flavor with the fruits, and the fruits also. This one big one, this one small one. Big one I want to present, I don't give you also. I freeze a little bit later, easier for me to hold, okay? I arrange a little bit for the presentation. Lam, help me to clear here. Kakak boleh tolong bawa bagi dia orang. You help me to clear here. We have to do the presentation. Yes. But why the skill coconut so easy? You go to the market, you buy a lot. You can use 1 year, 2 year. You go and do the more difficult. Go and buy those. It doesn't make you better flavor with the kedai runcit one because it's dry. It's dry, and the one I'm using is toasted one. The flavor very similar. I don't think if you say coconut cream or coconut milk, I understand you want to be fresh. Those they give you a little bit different flavor. You don't want to use a commercialized. I can understand, but the say coconut no. I think the supermarket one easier. It can keep longer. You don't need to have it. I arranged the presentation a little bit. Then later we can go through the questions, guys. But it is, guys, Dacquoise is Dacquoise. It will be slightly sweet. If you don't want to be so sweet, you change the ganache to, now I'm using white sugar because of wasabi. You use dark sugar ganache. And put more fruits. The nuts is okay. The caramel is okay. It's not sweet caramel. So, sorry? But you can if you want. I do last time, I do more. Before this, last time I do in the class, I do more. I like more, but half of a student chef too strong. Then I reduce a little bit because this recipe when I first developed, even inside the caramel also have wasabi. I cut it down. It's just to give a little bit of taste. Okay, 可以。这个不用了，我们用完了，下午没有用到了。Okay. I need a plate to arrange the presentation. Yep. Give me the Madeleine. There's a scratch here.可以摆5个咯。哦，4个吧，因为它会 cover 到那一个 logo。OK， 摆4个，摆三种就好了。我另外要摆这个，摆3个碟就好了。因为我要摆。
Guys, if you have any question, can ask why chef prepare for presentation. Any question?
Yeah, guys, if you want to have question, you can ask. No question, good. Thank you very much. Can I talk something about butter? Oh yes, of course. But for this butter, it's not a technical butter. It's about the taste. So I put, you see, in the Madeleine, is to showcase the 40% cream and also the butter. You taste the butter. So it's about the taste itself. So I don't speak too much. If it's this afternoon one, I speak more on the butter like this. Oh, sorry. Because it's technical, but this butter, I cannot explain you about the taste. The taste you have to taste yourself. But normally the butter, right? How to choose a good butter? Sorry? Butter is okay, of course. The Madeleine is using this butter. The Madeleine is using this butter. Madeleine is using the unsalted one. This one. And I clarify it. So the specific specialty of the Candia butter is we are using the cultured butter. Means that in the market you have many types of butter. One of it a little bit more troublesome to make and higher, we consider as higher quality because the producing time is much more. It's called cultured butter or fermented butter. Because butter, you know where butter comes from? It's from the milk. Okay, so milk, they remove the water content, they get a cream. They remove more water content, they get a butter. But when they get the butter, they put some culture inside to develop it. A little bit like you guys do the sourdough bread to develop the flavor. But not too strong and not to give acidity. But the idea is give more depth in the taste for the butter. So culture butter or fermented butter, this is the case. Some cheaper, you see a price range very different. I cannot say cheaper in the quality, but it's very depends because the taste of it, for me, butter texture is important. Second, the most important is the taste. Price is important, but price you see yourself, okay? But you want to choose the ingredients or a butter which is very good in the taste. Some of it, there's no taste. When you caramelize, there are no taste. When you put inside the recipe, it gives you only the texture, it doesn't give you a taste. Let's say example, I know this butter is a very good texture. I put into the ganache, so you get just now you feel the ganache, you get a very good texture. But it's not only from a butter, from the chocolate as well. But the moment you change the butter, texture change a little bit. So how to choose a butter normally? Taste after texture, these two very important. Taste you cannot change. Let's say example today I want to as a spread for the bread. Okay, I will choose a butter which is easily to spread, but on the same time because to spread worst to worst you leave it outside for a while, it can spread also. But taste you cannot change. How you want to change the taste of butter? There's no way. It's from the milk source, or another way you add extra flavor inside. But again, we don't want to have additive. You understand? Now the trend we don't want to. If today I give you the butter, I put extra milky taste inside. But it tastes stronger milk because just now I speak a lot about the French, everything is because fresh dairy taste. But I add extra milk taste inside, rich dairy taste. But the thing is, we are adding flavoring inside. You understand? But sometimes, that's the reason outside you see some croissants sell very high price, some croissants sell very low price, because the ingredients we are using are different as well. Okay, but I think you are consumer now, you guys know better than the chef. A lot of time you look the back of the ingredients more than me. Yes? The thing is, gourmet butter, we are not import to Malaysia. We shouldn't put it over here first. But I think this, it may be because it's a new product, very new product from Candia. We just started to launch in the world start from April. Okay, so in Malaysia we haven't import yet, but if you ask me to, now I explain, not really have a point, but I think future we are going to have a launch for this butter. But the idea between different this and this flavor much better. Why? The culture, this one we put culture inside, but not choosing a lot. This one culture also choose a unique culture. And texture very different. This one directly from a chiller, right, is creamy. Normal butter you direct from a firm, right? This one is creamy. You can scoop and spread straight away. I have one carton with me. I bring myself from Hong Kong, because the problem in Malaysia also, right? In Europe they send to me, they cannot go through the custom. They try 2 times, it's stuck in the custom. That's why the import, I don't know so much, but I know from a distributor they have in Malaysia the law have to go through certain things. So this one not yet. This one, yes, maybe end of the year. We have before, but at the moment, not enough ingredients to make this butter. So temporarily out of stock in the world. Okay, but the taste very nice. This one rich and fresh. This one fresh, because this one and this one the different. But this one you have a unique taste because of a culture. This one culture same normal culture, but from the production started day until we get this butter is only within 72 hours, which I don't think any other brand can do it, because for Candia, right, this brand Sodial is not from a corporate company. Is from not association. The owner is a farmer, a group of farmer. You understand? It's like an association then built into a company. So it's a farmer, so they can, and it's only from France, so we can trace the milk to the butter. But a lot of brand, they are getting the milk from other people. I don't understand, to be honest. At the moment, Candia, this brand, the marketing we are still developing, because it's a brand very new, only 10 years. Candia is long. In France is long, but Candia Professional with all this range is new. It's only 10 years. It's not same like, I know you understand, maybe Anchor or Olivia, all this is long. Okay, so that's the reason nowadays we do more, like I have to do more because I'm the ambassador. And I choose to work with them because I really believe the ingredients. That's why I prefer you guys to taste it. Understand? So any other question, guys? No question, then do we have some stand to put it high and low? No, then never mind. We put like this. But, okay, one moment. I arrange a little bit. I put like this because the Candia. Yes? But there is the egg white powder, I put a little bit inside to stabilize it. But what is the reason you want to substitute egg white with egg white powder? Yes. The ideal egg white powder, you don't need to put, but more difficult to work. Because the idea to have is to make it more stable. The egg white powder is actually a protein. So you add extra protein inside, right? So the whipping and stability is stronger, because the reason egg white can whip out is because of protein. Meringue powder is a name, but the big ingredients, I mean the big content of the meringue powder is egg white powder. They might add some other things inside, stabilizer whatsoever. Usually you can. Any other question? Butter sheet, yes. Oh, you want to know more about butter sheet? Can you this afternoon check the other demo? Because okay. Butter sheet was a little bit different. Okay, it's a little bit more deeper, guys. For butter sheet, normally it's a butter. But why we use butter sheet? It's not because the butter we press into a sheet. It's because when they produce, right, they have a flexibility and not melting easily. Because very strange one. Normally you think properly. A fat, when it melts higher temperature, usually they are harder, right? Means when you want to do a croissant, it breaks easier. But butter sheet, old company, okay, they develop it with. I cannot speak about I cannot say a secret of the production, but they do in a way that is still flexible. Even though it doesn't. Let's say example, normal butter. No, usually when you reach 35 degrees, right, they melted. Butter sheet, it can push a little bit, maybe to 38 degrees. Depends on the brand. Some brand cannot. And for Brittany or extra to rush, like you see in the recipe, you see just now earlier when Carl explained regarding the butter sheet, we have two types. One is the extra to rush. Extra to rush is we develop especially for the warm area. So normally when you do croissant, right, you know when we done croissant, if warm, they melt. But with both Candia, Brittany, and extra to rush, even a little bit warmer, it still can last. Compared to certain brand, without adding extra stabilizer inside. It's only butter. Sorry, it's only milk, the ingredients. There's no stabilizer inside. Okay, so the main difference between this and this is melting point higher. Means higher temperature, it doesn't melt, okay? Then second things, more flexible to work. Okay? I don't want to compare with other brands that I speak about the brand's name or whatsoever, but a lot of brand you use, right, not easy to use. That's why you want to do croissant at your house, right? Normally a lot of people say cannot, but nowadays a lot more can because technology changing. With the factory, they can produce the product more versatile and easier to use. This is one of product that one of our good selling point because very easy to use. Okay. Any other question? This afternoon I'm going to showcase more, but now we don't have time because I have to prepare a little bit for the afternoon session. But I think they're doing live also. You can because I will explain. Afternoon no live. Sorry. Then next time lah. Okay. Then are we allow them to take photo or how? Normally. Okay. Come on. Together. I think you should, yeah, because she helped the most. Please. Wait, here, there, or. But how we gonna do that? We need to. Oh, 我又想做添，讲一下。OK， 我不可以，他应该不给我做，很明显。This very 老土哎。Okay, thank you. Normally.
Okay guys, thank you for your time. Thank you chef for sharing the recipe, sharing the skill and sharing everything with us. And then if you want
okay. 要在哪里？那边。Okay.
Okay. Okay, pada penonton di rumah, thank you for stay tune bersama kita orang. And then dengar clear Okay, pada yang menonton kami di Facebook, di live Instagram, thank you very much support kita orang. And then mana-mana yang ada bagi soalan itu, selepas nanti kita punya team akan reply. So don't worry. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Okey, kepada sesiapa yang berminat dengan